Alright, we just finished round 1 against Blue-White Control. We won 2-1 against that one. Let's see what we get in round 2. Hopefully loading won't take forever, but we'll see. I've played against this player a lot lately. Although I don't really remember what they were playing. Luris. Okay. Puts them on probably either Burn or the Mardu Pyro deck. This hand could go a lot of ways. We're on the draw. I kind of like it better since we're on the draw, so I'll keep. I really want to play Sai on turn 2 into turn 3 Antiquities War or Karn. That'd be really nice. Okay, he's playing the Mardu Pyro. Why do I always call it Mardu Pyro? I think that's just because I got used to it from playing Modern a couple years ago. But he's playing the Rakdos Pyro deck. Slash Dreadhorde Arcanist slash whatever else it is. Ensoul Artifact. Okay. Still want to draw a land, but that makes the hand at least a little better to where we can Ensoul Stonecoil Serpent and get a little extra pressure on. Although he is probably just going to be able to Fatal Push it. We'll see. If I can get Sai down fairly quickly against this deck, I think I should be in a pretty good spot. Because their most effective way to deal with it is usually Dreadbore, at least in the early game. Because they have a bit of trouble activating Fatal Push sometimes. See what he takes with Thoughtseize. I feel like Ensoul Artifact is probably the most reasonable since he knows we can cast it, but it could go a lot of directions. Yep, takes Ensoul. Land, come on, land. Draw land, please. Come on, island off the top. We're not going to block your Stitcher's Supplier, so you can just attack it with it if you want, but... Ornithopter, that is not very sexy. Alright. I'll pressure him and let him pop the Stitcher's Supplier. I'm not going to attack with the Stonecoil Serpent because I'd rather not trade. Reason being mostly that I don't want him to get rid of Stonecoil Serpent and then be able to attack us with Kroxa. And I'm leaving Ornithopter in my hand so I can play it after I play Sai. Which hopefully will be next turn, but we'll see. I might just never draw another land this game. It is always a possibility with Magic the Gathering. But where we are in the game currently, at least, playing Sai and then playing a Antiquities War directly after it would still be very powerful, even though we've stumbled a little bit as far as mana goes. Gets Kroxa. I'll get rid of Karn. Seal Overseer. Seal Overseer is okay. He probably just Fatal Pushes it. But we'll see. And if he can get Kroxa back again this turn, I'm definitely not discarding either of these two cards, so I just let Ornithopter go. Looks like he's going to be able to do that. I don't know if that's the choice he's going to make. He might play like Dreadhorde Arcanist or something, but he only has one card in his hand, so I kind of doubt it. But if he plays Croxa, at least we get to start activating Steel Overseer. That's nice. Okay, he Fatal pushes. That's fine. No cards left in his hand. He could claim to Fame, but he chooses not to. I don't want to trade Stone Coil Serpent away just yet. He puts Lurrus in hand, that's fine. There we go. Okay, so he has Lurrus. If we play Ornithopter, Antiquities War gets it. So I'm going to leave it in hand. Because I'm still holding out hope that we get another land and play Antiquities War here, because I think just resolving Antiquities War and then generating some amount of flying creatures with Sai is our way to win this game currently. Because, like, as good as this Pyromancer deck is at killing creatures and emptying out your opponent's hand, it just doesn't kill that quickly. Like, he's on, what, turn 5 or 6 right now? We're on turn 5. Discard Ornithopter. It's fine. Come on, land. Make me feel not foolish. He's going to be able to dome us for 3 repeatedly with Croxa, but that's it at least. Yay! Alright. And he still has Lurrus in his hand. What do we get? Ornithopter would be nice. So we don't just lose whatever it is to Croxa. I'm just going to get a Hanger Backwalker and run it out on 0. So we get a 1-1. Because I'm just going to try to go as wide as possible with Antiquities War and survive by the skin of my teeth until it pops. Because we're taking 3 a turn to Croxa. And it's possible that he can gain some life with, like, Lurrus. But we have a Trampler and we have 2 flyers currently, at least. I love playing this deck so much because it's one of the only decks where you get to play a 0-drop creature and it's like simultaneously sometimes the worst and sometimes the best card that you have. It makes it very entertaining, in my opinion. No cards in hand. We drew an Ornithopter, great. So we get Ornithopter, Steel Overseer this turn. And we should definitely be able to win the game from here, because I don't think he has any main deck ways to kill enchantments. I'm going to leave up Mutavault just in case I want to like chump block with it or something if he can kill Stone Coil Serpent. Because I'd rather my land die at this point than lose anything else. He doesn't have any flying creatures. Might as well get him down to 15. Make us need 1 less creature to connect next turn. That should be a dub. Young Peasy, he can play Dreadhorde Arcanist and he can haste it up with Claim to Fame, but he can't kill enough flying creatures that it matters. Because we can just attack in with only flying creatures right now to get a win. Yep. Yep. Is he attacking with the crew? Yeah, he is. Okay. He's It's going to kill something. We're going to use it to generate a mana to activate Mutavault. He's probably killing Stonecoil Serpent if I had to guess. Or at least that's what I think I would pick here. So you can gain some life off Lurrus. Fatal Push, targets. What exactly? Targets Stonecoil Serpent, okay. So we just have to survive and not get rid of any of our flying creatures, and we win. That should be pretty easy. He's tapped out, doesn't have any cards in hand, so there's no extra surprises happening. He gains 3, he can still take 20 from 4 flyers. We go down to 11. We block, block, block. Block, block. We take 4. And that should be game. Because he's up to 18 and takes 20. Or takes 25. I lost count of the amount of flying creatures I had, actually. Yep. Alright, let's see. So, I've pretty much kept the same sideboarding strategy with the Lurrus Pyromancer deck the entire time I've been playing this deck against it, which is just side out some of the cards that don't do as much and just try to top deck as well as possible. Luckily, the deck is already skewed towards being mostly threats, but Grafdigger's Cage is a very, very good sideboard card against pretty much everything they're trying to do, and then I just add in the 2 other cards that are really nice to top deck against them. I used to bring in Aethersphere Harvester against them too, just because it was another decent threat, and it eats Dreadhorde Arcanist by being exactly 3 power, but they're usually able to keep the board pretty clean, so because it doesn't provide a way to crew it by itself, I don't like it as much. And all the other cards are just pretty good. Metallic Rebuke I used to side out also, but if you get Grafdigger's Cage down, their main way to deal with it is going to be Kolaghan's Command. And because the game usually doesn't get to the point where they have 6 lands in play, at least that are all open, you're usually able to counter it. This hand is pretty reasonable. It doesn't have a lot of artifacts in it, but you have time to top deck those. And because of black stuff inside, the artifacts can be pretty much anything, it doesn't really matter. All of them will be at least decent threats. What does he take here, I wonder? We have literally just 4 threats in our hand and then 3 lands. He takes Sigh. That's reasonable. Especially after last game. Let's play Island Blackstaff. We drew our 4th land, so we're going to be able to play these starting on turn 4 pretty easy. Probably plays Dreadhorde Arcanist here, I assume. Yep. Good old Slapcaster Mage. We drew Sigh again, so he's probably going to Thoughtseize that. Not that we have anything to do about it, but just wait and see. If he had tapped out for something, I totally would have animated Mutavault just to block the 1 damage, but I really don't like the idea of it getting Fatal Push, so here we are. Take Sigh, I assume. Hopefully we draw an artifact this coming turn, because I'd like to be able to down-tick Karn and have at least a 3/3. And if we draw 1-drop artifact, I'll be able to animate it immediately with Blackstaff. Although he does probably just Fatal Push it at that point, since he hasn't used any removal spells. Gotta dismiss this. Citrus Supplier, what's he get? Bloodchief's Thirst and Village Rites. So he's gonna have plenty of cards in his graveyard. It'd be nice if we got Grafdigger's Cage soon. I would definitely be satisfied with like a Darksteel Citadel though. Because then we could just have a forever blocker. Springleaf Drum's okay. He is just gonna Bloodchief's Thirst it. But I think I animated anyway. Because he's gonna have that Bloodchief's Thirst one way or the other. I'm not in love with the position that we're in right now just because we play a 4-drop next turn, we play Karn, it just kind of dies, and the token probably dies too. Ugh, Crooks is gonna make us discard. I'll get rid of the island and risk drawing a land or not. Because I don't want him to be able to Thoughtseize both of our threats away from us, in case he has another discard spell. I assume, let's see, Bloodchief's Thirst, and, yep, Village Rites, sack Stitcher Supplier. I doubt that we're going to win this game. So he did side in Legion's End. That's a good one to look out for. It's good to try to keep track of how many of those opponents have. Because most black decks will have them, but it's good to be able to judge how safe you are to just make a board full of Thopters and rely on that, or animate a bunch of Darksteel Citadels and rely on that. We take 2. He's able to get Kroxa back next turn. Yeah, so that's what I was trying to play around earlier. And luckily I was able to do that, but depending on what we draw, it won't matter. I wonder what he takes here. I think Karn's worse right now. Yeah. Opponent agrees with me. Either way, if I don't draw a land, I'm just gonna be sad. Jeez, 3 Dreadhorde Arcanists. He just has Fatal Push anyway, so I'm going to plus Karn. So that I don't just lose a token and also Karn. Get double lands. It kind of sucks, because I'm just going to discard 1 and lose life to Kroxa. Instead of even gaining 3 from that. Yep. Well, I don't know. If he was going to animate Kroxa there, I think I would have taken the utility land, just to make sure I don't get it. So we'll see what he does. It's possible he wants to just kill Karn and he like animates High Tyrant here. But it's probably more reasonable to just play Kroxa and try to pressure me as much as possible. I'm not in a position where any particular top deck just gets me back in the game immediately either, especially since 2 sides are in the graveyard. But we'll see. Gets Kroxa. He still has some amount of kill spells in the graveyard, I'm sure, after this. He probably keeps Fatal Push. Yeah, he keeps the 1 Fatal Push. Kroxa, we discard our island and take 3 down to 11. He attacks for 3. I wonder if he attacks us or Karn. I think either one of those choices could be reasonable. Because it's possible he just doesn't care about Karn. Especially because of the Fatal Push. Yeah, he's attacking me. That's fine. Yep. I'm probably just gonna draw a card and concede here, or draw a card and then... Yeah, I'm gonna 6 the turn back to him. Not even play anything or activate Karn. Just let him kill me. Yeah, like we can animate Mutavault to chump. Doesn't matter. I could have saved myself for 1 turn, but I wouldn't have been able to do anything reasonable in that turn, so it doesn't matter either. And hopefully the combination of us being on the play next game and him being down by almost a full 10 minutes gets us a dub. I'll reveal my hand of nothing. Haha. I'm not going to make any changes. Submit the deck. Don't need to change the strategy, just need to play better and win. Easy peasy. Get Thoughtseized less, hopefully. Because he did just get to Thoughtseize 2 damn Sais from me last game. And Sais very good against them. Now that I think about it, if he didn't have that second Thoughtseize, there's a decent chance I would have been able to win that game. But we'll see. This hand's alright. I'll keep it. All these cards individually are pretty good, and we have 4 lands, which isn't necessarily the best to have in your opener, but at least means that we're going to be able to play all of our top decks starting on turn 4. Opponent mulligan to 6. That's also fine. I think I'm going to play out Emery on my turn 2. Because it's a 3-drop, so it's unlikely that he's going to be able to Fatal Push it. Or at least he has to work a little harder than normal. And then that sets up a turn 3 that's possible where we can go... Well, Thoughtseize, let's see what happens. Probably take Sai again if I had to guess, but... So what I was thinking there was... Turn 2, play Darksteel Citadel that decreases Emery's cost by 1. I can play Emery. And then the next turn, even if I don't get anything good with Emery in the graveyard, I can go Sai, Hangerback Walker, make a token, Emery, target Hangerback Walker, make another token with Sai. Takes Emery instead of Sai. Interesting. That makes me think he has another Thoughtseize. Or at least maybe he just didn't have a decent kill spell. But now we have the opportunity of Sai Antiquities War again, and that'd be nice. Even if he Thoughtseizes Sai, if we can just roll up Hangerback Walker a little bit, and then get it to die with Antiquities War in play, that'd be pretty cool too. Alright, let's play outside. It's possible I should have played Stonecoil Serpent and then rolled up Hangerback Walker there, but I'm going to try to get Sai out of my hand while I can, because he's significantly safer on the board, at least when he doesn't have enough mana to kick the, whatever the name of the other Fatal Push is. From Zendikar. Yep. Citrus Supplier, that's fine. Yep. Gets Kroxa in hand. Or in the graveyard, rather. Let's see if he has a land to play, because he hasn't played one yet. Probably has Village Rights. Based on the line that he's played so far, at least. Bloodchief's Thirst, okay. So he is destroying Hangerback Walker, that's fine. I still have a 1-1. Kinda sad I didn't roll it up, but whatever. He didn't Bloodchief's Thirst my Sai, so I'm at least kinda happy about that. Ooh, second Antiquities War, that's very interesting. Come on, Ornithopter off the top. Ornithopter. That's not an Ornithopter at all. I'll take the Hangerback Walker over the Steel Overseer since it's a little bit better on this board, I think. Attack for 1 with Thopter token, get him down to a nice 15, make it a bit easier for me to kill him with Old Antiquities War. And then I'm just going to try to go wide as shit next turn. I'll take one. I won't block your Stitcher's supplier. Hot tip, in case you're new to this format, or new to playing against this deck in particular. Never, ever, ever block the Stitcher supplier. He really wants cards in the graveyard, and the 1/1 does not matter that much to be getting hit by. Croxa, that's fine. I'm going to discard one of the artifacts, I think. I think I'd probably rather discard Stonecoil Serpent. Well, it has Trample. I'll discard Big Legs. It's possible that I should have discarded Antiquities War, but I really want to have a backup in case he has a ways to destroy an enchantment here. And it still isn't looking like he's going to be able to... Okay, he can claim Croxa again. That's moderately annoying. This time I'm going to get rid of Antiquities War. Because I do still want to go wide with Sai. Just cast as many artifacts as possible. Ornithopter's a nice top deck. Grafdigger's Cage is a nice top deck. So we should definitely have this game in the bag now. In case he has Legion's End, I'm going to leave 2 mana up exactly. And not make Stonecoil Serpent as big as possible so I can sacrifice the Thopter token in case he tries to Legion's End it. Because the Flyers are going to be my ticket to victory here. Antiquities War is both very good and very bad in this matchup, just depending on the board state. If he had the normal Young Pyromancer board and I didn't have Sai but I had Antiquities War, it would be dog shit. Just because I wouldn't have nearly as many Flyers, I probably wouldn't be able to kill him and he would just chump block with a bunch of 1/1s and that's all Antiquities War would do. But if you can make enough 1/1s or you can make a big enough Stonecoil Serpent, it's very, very good. If he would yield the turn, that would be great so I can continue doing what I was doing. But we'll see. He's got 2 cards in hand, so I'm not particularly scared of anything, I don't think. Especially since he only has 2 mana up. Like if he plays 1 K command, that doesn't take me out of the game. Plays 1 Legion's End, I'm going to play around that, so that doesn't take me out of the game. Although it would if I didn't play around it and then didn't have any Flyers, or only had Ornithopter as a Flyer. So that should just be GG's. Maybe he's just going to make me wait to win. Who knows? Maybe he disconnected. I don't understand why more people aren't playing decks with Sai in them in Pioneer. It's very good against a lot of the decks in the meta, and it's also just very good by itself. I understand that it costs 3, so it means that you can't play like Lurrus in your Ensoul deck or whatever, but like my god, between that and Emery, I think that's enough value to justify playing 3 drops instead of Lurrus. The extra funny thing about this game is he did have the opportunity to Thoughtseize Sai, and if he had just done that, it's possible that I wouldn't be able to win this game, or at least not right now. But who knows? They do play some enchantment removal since Mono Black has access to that, so it's not necessarily the case that I'm going to win the game here, but I definitely should be able to. And I think that's probably what's happening since he's deciding to take forever and losing all of his time. But who cares? A dub's a dub. I don't really mind waiting a little bit to get it. Oh, so he did disconnect, that's what it is. Unfortunate time to disconnect right when the game's about to end anyway. But yeah, sometimes I think that I should have more sideboard cards for the BR Pyromancer deck, but other times like this it's just kind of fine. It's possible. I've thought about playing like a third Grafdigger's Cage just because it's decent against a lot of the field. It's good against like this deck, of course. It's good against Collected Company decks. It's good against the Arc-like Phoenix deck, and it's good against like the Dredgeless Dredge deck, although we don't really need any help against that because it kind of sucks. Maybe we don't really need anything else against this deck. It felt like we did for a while when BR Pyro got really popular, but things wax and wane in popularity, so you don't necessarily need to change a bunch of cards just because of that. I've actually been thinking about switching out some of the counterspells in the main deck, maybe playing like Mystical Disputes instead of Metallic Rebukes in the main deck, just to try to get Thing in the Ice more consistently, but I don't play against that deck often enough to justify it yet. If it gets to like 15-20% of the meta, I'll probably be thinking harder about it, but right now it's sitting at a clean like 10%. Got 2 more minutes to sit here and wait with me, and then surely we should be able to win the game. At least because I think even if, at this point, even if he has an answer for Antiquities Ward with just a bunch of 1/1s, while I also have a board full of 1/1s, he shouldn't be able to win in 2 minutes, or a minute and a half, or whatever. Good old Ornithopter with the butt of 2 crippling the 1/1s decks. So unfair. It's like a 0-drop removal spell. Best card ever. I wonder if it's possible to get the lost connection message if you rage quit, like maybe you just... I don't know if it lost connection, if the so-and-so has lost connection to the game pops up if you just exit out, or if you have to like lose your Wi-Fi or unplug your computer or something for it. I don't necessarily think that's what he did, I'm just saying it was an awfully convenient time to lose connection with 6 minutes to go. When you have 1 turn left in the game. And I don't get the satisfying ending of turning all my guys sideways. So sad. Well, that's the game. No fun conclusion to that one, but we can all picture it in our minds, turning a bunch of suddenly 5/5 floppers sideways. Hopefully that'll be satisfying enough for you guys. I'll see you in the next one.